Dave, a good win against Blackheath this afternoon here at Wellhall. I think it was 7 tries in all. Give us your thoughts after that one.
Yeah, we're quite happy with our first half performance. Our attack was much better than last week. We kept the ball, we scored a couple of nice breakaway tries, but we still have things to work on. Our defence is something that we've been working on the last couple of weeks, and I think we're at a kind of a stage now that we've been taught a lot, but it's at a time of the season where the boys need to, we're taking ownership of it and making the team our own. So that's kind of where we are now. We're happy enough, but we're at a stage where we're taking on things ourselves. Let's
start with the positives. I think we were 33-0 up at half time. It was certainly a fantastic first half, and we kind of expressed ourselves certainly in attack as well. Yeah, exactly. Those combinations are starting to come together. I felt the back three worked well together. Craig at 10 is great to play with. He's very attack minded, so we got in behind them. Scored some nice tries, but he still left a couple out there, so that's something we'll work on for the next couple of weeks. Obviously a bit of a drop off in the second half when they rallied towards the end. Yeah. I know it obviously wasn't ideal, but is that kind of what we want at this stage of pre-season, the fact that we obviously got ourselves in front and then quite a challenge towards the end as well? Yeah, it was a good test. I think we had a good session against Harlequins in the middle of the week, and that kind of woke a few boys up. I thought we were good in parts. That second half is just something that in 2 weeks' time, if we're like that, we'll get punished. So take some good learnings from it, but we need to be better. Yeah, has that kind of highlighted the fact that we've, still, I know there's no panic station, still a fortnight or so till the season, but the fact that we will need to tighten up and obviously work hard in training this week as well. Yeah, exactly. I think, as I said at the start, it's just a part of the season where we need to take ownership, everyone looking after their own backyard, and we take pride in our own aspects of our game, and if we all perform those to the best of our ability, we'll turn to a great side. In terms of your personal performance, you must have been pretty pleased with that. Some nice breaks, and in particular that little grubber for a range try. It certainly showed off your ability this afternoon. Yeah, I was happy. Last week it was very defence orientated, dealing with the Dragons kicking game, so it was nice to actually get on the ball a bit more and working those connections with Will and start building some relationships, so it's good. I enjoyed it. You've obviously been with us a couple of months now after you moved from Munster. How are you finding it so far? Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's great to be in an atmosphere where I feel really valued, and Wardy's good to work with. He likes to hear what I have to say about things, so as I said, we're kind of driving a team, and the ideas we want to put in are being put into practice, so we feel like we're owning the team and growing into it. And now obviously 5 days or so I think until the final friendly against Harlequins at the Stoop. That'll be another step up, so I'm sure it's a big week ahead. Yeah, obviously we had a lively training session on Tuesday. We got to look at them, they got to look at us, so we'll have a bit of footage to work off, but they're a top quality side, some great individuals, so that'll be a great final test for us before the season begins. It's a 45-21 victory over Blackheath this afternoon. What's your initial assessment of that game?
Well, it was obviously nice to get a win. Obviously still pre-season, so trying combinations. I think 26 out of 27 boys got on the pitch, so boys getting minutes. In terms of performance, it's a jump up from last week in a lot of areas. Obviously a National 1 opposition who are looking to compete this year at National 1, and it showed late on in the game when it loosened up a little bit, they're a real threat. So we've got a lot we can build on next week in training, and a few of our key principles we need to keep reinforcing in attack and defence. But again, I think pre-season game, getting minutes on the pitch for guys and getting them used to the bump and grind of rugby union again in August, and getting ourselves ready for September. I think we've ticked a lot of boxes in that regard. Slightly disappointed to get really loose in the second half, and that sort of fed Blackheath's momentum. But with a lot of changes, it sort of becomes inevitable.
Let's start with the positives. The first half, I think we're 33-0 up at half time. We'd scored 5 tries. Looked very positive, particularly in attack.
Yeah, good balance at set piece, broken field, and strike plays as well. So I felt first half we're potentially a bit loose at the breakdown. We'd like to be a bit tighter there, a bit more clinical. But in terms of actually getting points on the board, we had a good balance to our game.
You mentioned it there, the set piece as well. We had a lot of penalties, kept kicking them into the corner. It all seemed to be functioning pretty well in the first half.
Yeah, I think we'd have liked to roll over a bit of a higher percentage of our opportunities in the 22. It's something difficult to replicate in training. getting into the 22 and having the composure, but the intensity to roll oppositions over in that area, and it's a big part of our game. So it's something we're going to look to build on week to week.
Second half, I guess it's somewhat inevitable when you're 40 points up that you can't recreate that kind of intensity, but perhaps a little bit disappointed at the drop off in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely disappointed. I'm sure those boys coming off the bench are especially disappointed. They want to come on and bring impact, and we conceded a lot of points second half with changes, and obviously that's not ideal. We don't want to concede points. It would have been nice to keep the 0 on the board that we had at half time, but these guys coming into the team that are still learning a lot of lessons and looking to press their cases, so they're trying incredibly hard. I don't think the guys coming off the pitch, they can't roll out for 80 minutes week 2. We've got to make sure we keep sharing the load and giving boys an opportunity.
If we look at a positive factor of that, is that the fact that we're obviously kind of in front, and then the fact that they came back towards us kind of gave us the ideal pre-season challenge in the way that we had to really test our defence. Yeah,
I think our defence has found wanting at times, and it's been a work on for us the last couple of weeks, and certainly as the game got looser, we probably needed to tighten up a little bit, and if that was a championship, if we had league points on offer there, I think we'd have been a bit disappointed. But that's the balance between trying to try things in pre-season and testing things out, and actually trying to win a game of rugby, and that's the balance where we've tried to get right the last couple of weeks to find out what actually works for us, and to also have the composure to see a game out. It's definitely a balance.
You mentioned trying things there. Are you happy with the way that some of the combinations are starting to come together?
Yeah, certainly. I think a couple of changes in the back row this week, and a change up front, a change in the second row, and I think those guys that come into the starting team did very well. And also with different half-back combination, different 10 and a different half-back off the bench. I think guys are pressing claims, and it's going to be tough come the start of the season as to who's going to get that starting shirt.
29-man squad last week, 27-man squad this week. Are we starting to get closer to what we feel is the kind of the match day 22?
That's what we've got to start whittling it down, yeah. And I think we'll have a few less on the bench next week, and then obviously only 22 for the first league game. So we've got a lot of boys vying for that shirt, and we've got to make sure that boys are putting pressure on each other in the right way, and we get the strongest team out we can at that first game of the season.
A huge week ahead with trip to the Stoop to play Harlequins on Friday night. We'll be looking to take it up another notch at the Stoop on Friday.
We're looking to take up a notch every week. We highlighted the importance of our performance, improving our performance week on week. We've certainly done that this week, and we need another improvement across the board going to the Stoop on Friday, and then we need an improvement then going into the start of the campaign. So we already know the areas we're looking to improve, and we've got a plan in place, and the boys have to embrace that challenge on Friday night of going to a Premiership standard team at their place, and it's something we're already looking forward to.
What would you say the main work-ons are for the week ahead?
Well, certainly our spacings and our energy in defence, and making sure we're in a position where we can fill the field more effectively, that allows us to get off the line. I think obviously the balance in our game in terms of space in the backfield and our accuracy when we are playing, and certainly from that our attacking breakdown, we need to be a lot more proactive in those areas.
Just to finish on a positive, we've got our first win with an enormously new squad, and obviously new coach and yourself as well. Certainly positives to take to the week ahead.
No, there's always positives. It's our job to find the positives and make sure that we're building our performance week to week, and that's what we'll be looking to do.